wake me up before you go for this one, Brady, because we've got some good quarterbacks now.
Yeah, we definitely have some good quarterbacks. Championship teams have senior leadership at quarterback. Mark Wandolo Jr. for Hollywood Chaminade, his final game, 21-3 as a starter, Batesy. And, of course, the quarterback on the other side, Jared Fleming for South Sumter, over 6,000 yards passing in his career. Two terrific leaders for their team.
Jared Fleming will do it with his legs tonight, too, but when he does decide to sling it, he's got a pretty good receiver to go to in Carlos Everett.
Carlos Everett, Division I prospect. His brother plays linebacker at the University of Florida. When the ball goes in the air, he takes it up another notch and accelerates to it. Keep an eye on him for big plays tonight for South Sumter.
Well, they don't run it quite as much as Chaminade. Chaminade will put it on the ground all night long, and they've got the quarterback, Mark Wandolo Jr., but they've also got a very special running back in Willie Floyd.
Willie Floyd, 200-plus all-purpose yards last week, and really take it the distance. Don't be fooled by his size. This guy got great speed, and when he gets the edge, it's lights out for opponents of Hollywood Chaminade.
And we'll keep the lights on for you guys and take you the distance tonight on Sun Sports. When we return, it's the 2A state championship game here at 2005 FHSAA football finals. Stay right there. Sports program, Dodge. You can take life as it comes, or you can grab life by the horns. By Beef O'Brady's Family Sports Pubs, in a league of its own. And by, let me do and by. Getting a little bit rowdy. Here in Miami, Florida. Just the tip of the iceberg for you here on Sun Sports, the 2005 FHSAA football finals. We're over the next 2 weeks. 16 teams have worked their way to the top to come down to the bottom. The bottom of the Sunshine State, that is Miami, Florida. And we're about to put on a show here, starting it off with this 2A battle. Guys like Jared Fleming, number 13, the quarterback for the South Sumter Raiders, also one heck of a kick returner. Diego Palacio will kick off for the Chaminade Lions, and we're underway. And Fleming, the quarterback of that Raiders squad, takes it. That is to him. We'll bring it up, and we'll start this show at about the 17-yard line. A look at Jared Fleming, the outstanding quarterback, the key, the driver of this offense for his coach, Inman Sherman, a senior. They'll run that no huddle, and after this time huddling on the sidelines, there won't be much huddling for the guys wearing the red and black. Brady, he's going to be fun to watch tonight.
Absolutely. Jared Fleming, a real field general. Calls plays at the line, checks, gets his offense in the right position. He's a tough hombre.
Well, Fleming surrounded by some tough hombres like Carlos Everett, who usually lines up at the wide receiver spot, this time in the I backfield at the tailback slot. He's carried it quite a bit, though, this year, 29 times. Great acceleration from the receiver spot and from the running back spot as well. Hard-charging Chaminade defense. Everybody on that defensive side of the ball can run, and they'll be running from this big offensive line for South Sumter. Martinez, Sally, Hairston, Dickerson, and Massey. Hairston, the senior center, anchoring that line. Only 4 sacks they've given up this year. Nick Southall, the halfback. Tony Smith, the wide receiver. Dravius Rice at tight end. There was Carlos Everett on that last carry. Now he lines up out split. Run the option outside. This one will go to Tony Smith. Speed guy tries to get to the corner, but hard to outrun this Chaminade Lion defense. Flag on the play. Tony Smith a little bit smaller there in the backfield compared to Richard Kelly, the stud running back who was injured earlier in the playoffs. Not a way you want to start the show if you're Mark Wandolo's squad, is it, Brady?
No, good break for South Sumter. Chaminade snuffed out the speed option. Played very good defense, good discipline, stopped it, but the face mask will add on and make it second and short once again.
The fastest defense we've seen on tape. That's what Coach Inman Sherman said of South Sumter. He said, watching the Chaminade Lion defense, they're scary good. And a big mistake there. Here goes Carlos Everett, drugged down from behind. That's Ian Smith coming up from his defensive back spot, the 6', 180-pound junior, as we take a look at his buddies. There's some guys up front that aren't the biggest in the world, but boy, are they fast. Ward, Williams, Rodriguez, and Mann. And a linebacking crew that's led by Jordan Delegal, but Shane Gordon, Xavier Stinson, and Brady Jackson can play as well. South Sumter, Raiders secondary. And And here he goes running the show, and blockers out in front of him is Jared Fleming. And Alex Blucher finally runs him out of bounds. Nobody there for him on the boot, though. A gain of 33 yards.
Terrific keeper right there by the veteran quarterback who has the option to give or keep it. And Jordan Fleming kept it that time, got out on the edge. Take a look at it once again from the end zone. Look, the entire defense follows Everett, the Division I prospect, and there you see him directing traffic. Big gain. And they're in Chaminade territory. Jared Fleming, outstanding field general.
Kendall Smith, the linebacker, blocking downfield for him from his running back position. Here's Fleming from shotgun. Some pressure. Sneaks away from the tackler. Finally brought down after a pickup of about 4. There providing the pressure was Kent Clancy, number 15, the defensive end, leading this team with 15.5 sacks and the leading tackler on the squad for Chaminade.
South Sumter will throw it more than Chaminade, and they've, with the loss of their big fullback a couple of weeks ago to a dislocated shoulder, they've had to air it out a little bit more than they'd like. Over 6,000 yards, I mentioned at the top for Fleming, and he can really make things happen in the pocket.
Going from the shotgun again. This one's going to go to Southall, and the Lions are waiting on him, wrapping him up. Maybe a gain of 1. Cleo Edwards leading the charge.
What South Sumter's trying to do is set the tempo on offense. They rely on their conditioning with the no huddle. They substitute freely. And in the last couple of years, Coach Sherman has gone with this 2-platoon system, and his offense has really benefited, and it's benefited from the veteran quarterback play of Jared Fleming.
When Jared Fleming and company, the seniors now were sophomores, Coach Sherman decided to go to that 2-platoon, rest his guys a little bit, but wear down the others by running this no-huddle. Big third down now. Out to Southall, and a big lick. Coming up from his quarterback position is Akeem Auguste.
There's the first one we've seen tonight. Somebody putting a hat on somebody. Auguste coming up, reading the swing pass, and just delivering a huge hit early on in this football game. This is the old Florida State swing pass. He throws it out in the flat, and Auguste did not drop in coverage. He came up, read it, stuffed it out. Big play early on for Chaminade.
Auguste, just a junior. He and his family were hit hard as punt's going to go down into the end zone. Tyree McCook, the punter. Jared Fleming in there on that one from his quarterback's punt. Punting this one away, though, but Auguste and his family, when Hurricane Wilma hit not too long ago here in South Florida, their house was hit pretty hard, kind of like that lick that he just laid on Southall. They had to head up to Orlando. Here's some keys to victory I know that you'll have your eyes on tonight, Brady.
Yeah, South Sumter, they want to speed up the tempo. An up-tempo offense, obviously, and on defense, avoid the big plays. Chaminade will hit you with the big play in the run game. Of course, for Chaminade, they want to control the ball on the ground and use their state championship experience tonight to their advantage.
So getting a break on that punt anyway, Mark Wandolo Jr., and this offense, the Nittany Lion-looking offense. Mark Wandolo Sr., a big Western Pennsylvania guy, grew up in Western PA, went to Blackhawk High School in Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania. There's his son, Mark Wandolo Jr., who is a senior, and with that will be playing his last football game, not just for the Lions, but for his dad tonight. And Coach Wandolo admitting this week that it was a very bittersweet weekend for him.
South Sumter, I believe, lined up in the neutral zone. We'll see. Actually, it was offsides. They lined up offside, so it's on Chaminade.
And those Chaminade offensive linemen, the biggest offensive line they've had there in a while, 74 and 72. 2 juniors, Nwanko and Ferguson, pretty big time. Willie Floyd, Xavier Stinson. There you saw Dawson, the tight end. And here comes Willie Floyd for the first time tonight. Good blocking by number 72. Amika Nwanko leading the charge out there, and Willie Floyd showing you how smooth he can be around the corner. Tyree McCook steps up with the lick. There's the defensive line for the Chaminade-Madonna Lions. Been out there already tonight in a good stand against a pretty good South Sumter offense. Got them off of the football field, and that's better than a lot of teams have been able to do here throughout the playoffs.
You're really going to like Willie Floyd tonight. I mean, when he gets to the corner, he can really accelerate and get up the field.
Coach Inman Sherman, his 21st year, talking to his troops over on the sideline. First down and 10 now. after the Floyd first down. In the face, Guandolo sets one off. Willie Floyd from his running back position gets out there in the flat and picks up another first down. So doing one on the ground and one through the air. There's a South Sumter Raiders, the defensive line, Brandon Ward, Clyde Williams, Ishmael Rodriguez, Dryden Mann. You might as well throw the backups in there too because they like to keep them fresh. Kendall Smith, we saw him on offense, a big block he threw earlier. Elder, McCook, Mobley, and Hutchison. Travis Hutchison, the junior, 86 tackles from his safety spot, 15 tackles last week. And here come the Lions and Willie Floyd one more time. And another first down. So 3 plays from scrimmage for the Lion offense and 3 first downs, all in the hands of number 9.
Absolutely. Willie Floyd, terrific all-purpose running back with good speed. That time they ran the buck sweep, pulled both guards. Nardelli and Nwanko got him out in front, and he used his speed to get to the edge. They'll use him in a bunch of different ways. We've already seen him go with a power to the right. They've run the sweep to the left and also release him to the flat. He's got good hands. He's a terrific prospect for the next level in college.
Just marching down the field as they've marched through these playoffs, taking out some pretty good teams. Behind the big pulling guard of Emekwa Nwankwo, there's Floyd one more time. So 4 plays in a row going to number 9.
Talking with the defensive staff from South Sumter earlier today before the game, very concerned about this huge offensive line from Chaminade. Look at him just caving it in on the left side, allowing Floyd to find the seam and pick up positive yardage. And there you see it just crushing down the field. And then Floyd, really a nice hole right there for the first down. But they're very concerned about the size and strength of that Chaminade offensive line coming in.
Well, they've taken down 2 pretty strong and big teams here the last couple of weeks in the playoffs in 2A up there in the North, Bowles and Madison County. 2 schools that have been to that championship game quite a bit. We saw Madison County last year in the swamp. Teams have had some trouble getting past the Cowboys, but finally South Sumter does it. They've got to step up and put a stop to this Chaminade offensive attack, which has been powerful so far. Guandolo will hand off to Xavier Stinson this time. And this time, the Sumter Raider defense is there waiting on them, and their first stop of the night. Mark Guandolo Sr. There are his numbers with the Chaminade-Madonna Lions. And throughout this playoff stretch, Coral Shores, Gulliver Prep, and big program like Clewiston. He's done it at Chaminade and used to do it at Southridge. Took his team to a state championship game in Southridge, only to lose to Tallahassee Lincoln and David Wilson a few years ago. And one more time at the left side, this one to T.J. Mitchell, 5'8", 170-pound sophomore. Brady, those big guys up front, we talked about them, Ed Ferguson and Emeka Nwankwo. They get up and they pull, don't they? They look good running.
Absolutely, and they call it the multiple tee, although it looks a lot like the wing tee, but they do a lot of different things out of their offense, but everything's predicated on that big offensive line, 290 and 280 at the tackle position. That's as big as you'll see inside Class 2A, and it'll be key for South Sumter's defense to make sure they stay in their gaps and be disciplined tonight, and they're going to slow down this Chaminade running attack.
Here's a chance to stop him on 3rd and 4. Floyd's going to get the ball and the first down inside the 15-yard line to about the 13, so they can't come up with the stop there. And one more time, it's Willie Floyd, a big gainer.
Floyd being recruited by Northwestern, among other schools out of the Big Ten, and you'll see him up here. It's the buck sweep once again. Both guards pulled. He's just going to get outside, follow the big fellas, find some room, and he's the perfect size for a running back. I really believe that. I mean, you love those 6'2", 210 guys, but I mean, he's a guy who can hide behind his guys, hide behind his offensive lineman, then find that hole, and he's got the speed to accelerate through it.
If you're a Chaminade Lion fan, you love his numbers. 4 rushes, 48 yards here in the early goings of first quarter here at FIU Stadium. Stinson on this one, the quick hitter, and quickly hit by the South Sumter Raider defense.
Obviously, both these teams have had terrific seasons to get here, and early on, as you see Stinson's numbers, pretty good out of that backfield, that 3-headed backfield back there. I know we've talked a lot about Floyd. Early on, the experience certainly with Chaminade, having been through this before, a place where South Sumter's never been, and they'll have to control their emotions early on and hang in there.
They've been there before. They went in 2002 to the championship game, lost their bowl 6-0, won it in 2003. Didn't make it there last year, and here comes Willie Floyd around the corner. Does he get in? He does. On the board for the first time tonight, it's the Chaminade Lions in the hometown crowd of Hollywood, Florida, cheering hard for their offensive lineman, Emeka Nwankwo. Ed Ferguson over there slapping Willie Floyd on the back. What a big drive for the Lions.
Too much room on the edge given up by South Sumter. They're going to have to make some adjustments with their ends and maybe their safeties and bring some guys up on the leverage because there's just too much room to run for Floyd on the outside.
Senior kicker Diego Palacio in the kick, 58 of 60 as far as PATs go. Big time kicker, Coach Guandolo calls him, and well, looks pretty big time and strong right there. So right through the uprights, and it's 7-0 just like that for the Lions from Hollywood, Chaminade. Speaking of Hollywood, how about Willie Floyd? We'll be back. Back at FIU Stadium for the Class 2A final, Chaminade-Madonna from Hollywood, Florida, scoring on their opening drive. Mark Guandolo and company doing it on the ground and through the air. With more on that, let's check in for the first time tonight with Kim Anthony.
Well, Chaminade's quarterback Mark Guandolo is playing with a third-degree shoulder separation. He injured it earlier in the season, and then he re-injured it in the playoffs. Now, I asked to see if there were any precautions being taken to protect the shoulder, but you know what I found out, guys? Their main precaution, or their main source of protection, is that O-line. He went untouched last week against Clewiston, and after the game, Mark said he wanted to give every single one of those guys a kiss. Guys?
Thank you very much, Kim. Well, big special kiss from father to son.
Absolutely. He is an experienced kid and a tough kid, as you would expect a coach's son to be.
So for the second time tonight, we see Diego Palacio kicking off this one, trying to make its way down to the end zone, and that's where it'll go. And with that, here in FHSAA high school football, nothing comes out of the end zone except for the football placed at the 20-yard line, and that's where Jared Fleming and the South Sumter Raider offense will start. Nice drive to start this game. Nothing to show for it. A punt that went into the end zone, and then Guandolo Jr. and the Lions took it the length of the field. And it's 7-0. Let's see if the South Sumter Raiders can answer. Remember, Richard Kelly, we told you earlier, has broken his collarbone, the big 6', 245-pound back that they relied on so much throughout the season. Lost him a couple weeks ago against Bowles. This one goes for about 2 yards.
South Sumter puts so much pressure on its quarterback and Jared Fleming, so much responsibility, and he accepts the pressure to call plays at the line of scrimmage and get his team in an up-tempo fashion. This is going to be a unique defense he's seeing tonight at Chaminade, a 3-4 with a slant, zone blitz. They do give him a lot of different looks.
Power eye backfield behind Fleming right now. Nick Southall, the 5'6", 213-pound bowling ball, playing with a torn meniscus since mid-season.
There you see the wristband for Jared Fleming. Obviously the plays, the formations, he's got all that on that wristband in between his 2 ears and in his head, and certainly he'd like to find a matchups early on in this game to get the ball to his big playmaker, Carlos Everett, one-on-one.
Fleming steps to that line in this no-huddle offense and makes his checks. And there's something for the South Sumter offense to cheer about. Fleming takes this one on his own and gets past those sticks for a first down.
Yeah, he was able to make defender miss, get up there to the first down and move the chains. You know, as I mentioned, he's a good game manager, a tough kid, and they're going to need everything they can out of him in his arm and his legs, as you see his numbers on the ground tonight if they're going to knock off Hollywood Chaminade.
Southall will take this one, dragging a couple Lions. Pickup of 6 yards, so South Sumter offense starting to get it moving a little bit. There's Southall. We talked about the torn meniscus, happened midway through the season, and he's just put a brace on it, rub some dirt on it, and keep it going here in his senior season. Straight ahead Now got a 2nd down and 3.
I think early on, straight ahead's a good idea. Those 3 seniors in the middle of that South Sumter offensive line anchoring their attack.
Fleming, a pretty throw to Carlos Everett. He hangs on to it, makes one guy miss, and there he goes. A big senior receiver for South Sumter. Answers 61 yards for the Raiders.
When he sees the ball in the air, he goes and gets it and makes a big play, and that's what makes him so special. That's the difference between a good receiver and a great receiver. Carlos Everett going up and getting it, taking it away from Auguste. Great throw across the middle of the field right there by Fleming. Look at the concentration as he goes up and gets the ball, then makes a guy miss and smells pay dirt. South Sumter back on the scoreboard.
Well, some confusion on the South Sumter side, not expecting to score quite that fast. Travis Hutchinson will hold this one, and Cody Stump, the junior kicker, 75-76 on PATs for him. And we're all tied up with 3:44 to go here in the first quarter at FIU Stadium. Wow, we promised you quite a show tonight. It's not Hollywood, California like you had hoped, Brady, but woo, turn on those lights and keep them on. There's a flag on this point after try.
What you're seeing early on, though, is the 2 playmakers that we highlighted, Willie Floyd and Carlos Everett, 2 guys that you know are going to step up in a big game, and both guys have given us a lot to see here in the first quarter of action.
Carlos Everett's 15th touchdown of the season. He's got his big brother, Earl Everett, linebacker at the University of Florida, in the stands watching him tonight.
By the defense. That penalty will be assessed on the kickoff. Touchdown.
We got that microphone working on that.
There you see the deep square end route. He throws it up high, and he goes over the top and gets the catch over Aiken right there. Makes another guy miss and then heads to the end zone somewhere he's spent a lot of time this year. And the thing Fleming knows is go up and give it to the big fella. Throw it up high. He's a big receiver. Of course, that's why so many schools like the University of Florida and Miami and on and on and on are recruiting him.
And what a nice balanced attack to have as you take a look at that scoring drive. Looks a lot like his big brother Earl, who is just 2 years older. Got a hall pass from Coach Urban Meyer. The Florida Gators practicing this evening back up in Gainesville. And not only did he have to get a hall pass from the head ball coach, but a hall pass from his medical terminology teacher, which is even more important. So respecting the fact that little brother is playing in his last high school football game, and he's got plenty more football to play after this. And talking to Earl on the phone this week, he said that Carlos is leaning towards NC State.
Yep.
Going to follow Dwayne Dixon up there, maybe, and the University of Florida hasn't offered him yet.
Not yet, but I'm sure they're going to have him in. And, of course, Miami obviously recruiting him very strongly as well. But I think right now, if you're the defensive coordinator for Chaminade, Marcelo Rodriguez, or Stan Coburn and Ty Lawrence, the co-defensive coordinator of South Sumter, both teams are going to have to make some sort of adjustments to key on those star players, for especially this series for South Sumter on defense. I really think they've got to do something not to get so many guys up in the box, but get guys on the edge and force him back inside and keep Willie Floyd from getting out on the edge.
Akeem Auguste, Willie Floyd, man who did so much damage on the offense, deep to receive for the Chaminade Lions, and Cody Stump will kick this one off. 7-7 now, 3:44 left in this first quarter. Beautiful night down in South Florida. This one goes into the end zone. What a weapon to have in high school football when you can put that ball into the end zone and not put it in the hands of number 9, Brady.
Absolutely. And, you know, we're working on a short week this week, obviously, with the broadcast on Thursday night. And everyone's excited to have it on live TV for the first time since 1984. Preparation at a premium this week. Remember, these teams played on Friday. They used to play in the next Friday. And both teams obviously having to travel. Hollywood not as far. So South Sumter coming up today to get that extra day's worth of work yesterday back in Bushnell.
Heavy rains in north central Florida earlier this week. Practiced Monday in the pouring down rain. Trying to stop this wing tee attack of Chaminade. Willie Floyd goes down after about a 3-yard gain. Now this game originally supposed to be played on Saturday night here at FIU Stadium, the campus of Florida International University. The Golden Panthers, though, they had a makeup game against Middle Tennessee State. It was canceled because of Hurricane Wilma. They had to find a spot, and that spot just happened to be on Saturday night when the 2A game was supposed to be played. So here we sit. Lucky for you guys, we got our first live broadcast since 1984. Floyd one more time. Floyd keeps his balance, diving down to the 37-yard line. A big pickup and another first down, just where they left off the last time they had the ball.
Well, you want to keep him inside the tackle box. This is where they want him to run, but look at the great blocking. Everybody with a hat on a hat, and Floyd just going up the middle. Great job on the right side of that line by Ferguson and Nwankwo. And, of course, a premium right now on those ends, including Ward, to turn him back inside, but then the linebackers got to fill and make the play.
Xavier Stinson gets hit right at the line, hit again in the backfield, ends up picking up about 2 yards on the play. All kinds of black hats back there as soon as that ball was snapped.
To give you an idea for South Sumter, they're giving up about 60 pounds a man across the defensive front. Here you see Brandon Ward, big guy at 6'5", but only 190. You're talking about 280 and 290 at the tackle positions, 240 and 260 across the board. So Chaminade certainly has more beef up front.
Brandon Ward only 190 at that defensive end spot, and this one goes right around the defensive end, down the field, and look at Floyd, Willie Floyd, all the way down to the 21-yard line, just prancing like a deer right alongside in front of his bench, Coach Mark Wandolo, liking what he's seeing right now by his big back.
Watch your guards. There they go, 72 and 70, pulling up the field, and they have not stopped the buck sweep yet. And Floyd's got all kinds of running room, just allowing himself to just kind of pick his way up the field. Once again, the big fellas up front. There you see Ryan Goldman, both him and Nwankwo, pulling outside, and really just easy running for Floyd. The buck sweep has been the number one play tonight for Chaminade.
A lot of times in an offense like this, in high school, these offensive linemen will do as much running as that running back. Willie Floyd's been running all over the field tonight for his coach, Mark Wandolo. He calls a timeout. This one will be placed at the 22-yard line, so a 1st and 10. And Brady, the wing tee is so hard to prepare for as a defense.
You got your guards right here. They come out. This guard and this guard are going to pull out in front of the back. Now watch your two guards. Here they come. They pull, play side, get outside, and now really there's not a whole lot for them to block out on the edge, cutting off the edge. And that's why I think it's important for South Sumter to do something, maybe widen a 9 technique or put somebody out there on the edge and try to turn Floyd inside, because once he gets on the edge, as I mentioned earlier, it's going to be costly for your defense.
Costly to the tune of 8 carries for 111 yards. And how about those numbers for just a junior? Amika Nwankwo.
A good-looking kid there. Good-looking.
6'5", 280-pounder. He and Ed Ferguson both will be highly recruited next year. Both juniors, Mark Wandolo said, watch out for these guys next year. Both of them on that right side of the line. These last couple have squirted out on the left side. So right and left, they're getting it done up front for the Chaminade Lions. 1st and 10 on the 22. Number 5, Mario Elder.
You better show Mario Elder some love. Now, I talked to him before the game down on the field. He said, I want to be on TV. I said, make a play, and you're on TV, Mr. Elder.
He wanted a piece of that camera. He got a piece right there. And a big piece of Mark Wandolo. Wasn't hit last year, as Kim Anthony told you earlier in the broadcast. He's got the separated shoulder. He missed the game against Pompano earlier this year. Chad Reining, the sophomore, had to fill in for him. They left him untouched last week, but he was touched kind of in a hard way there by number 5.
I like the call by the co-defensive coordinators for South Sumter, blitzing on 1st down.
Here's a screen. This one goes to Xavier Stinson. Look at Xavier Stinson, north and south, running people over close to the sticks. Wow, the 225-pound junior, he got those shoulders turned, heading toward the end zone, and he wanted to get to the paint.
Watch number 70. They're going to set the screen up right here. Throw back screen, fake right, throw it back to the left, get your offensive lineman. Look at 70 Goldman out there. He drives the guy off the field, Elder, and that's a big play. Elder still makes the tackle, staying with it. But I'm telling you, this offensive line for Hollywood Chaminade is as good of offensive line as I see in any classification as far as coaching and technique. They're well schooled on the up front on the offensive line.
Didn't make it to the sticks. Third down and short. Hitting the backfield is Floyd. Stretching, trying to make it to that first down marker. This one will be close. Brandon Ward back there from his defensive end spot, and a host of Raiders.
There's Kendall Smith flying in there. He can play. Just a junior, 29. He'll be signing with somebody in a year.
He does get that first down, the ball on the 12-yard line as this clock runs out here in the first quarter. So Kendall Smith couldn't hang on hard enough, but quite a bit of ball to be played. We got a good one here in the 2A state final. The Chaminade Lions and the South Sumter Raiders. They buckled it up and they've come to play, all tied up at 7. Stay right there. Fire it up on the sidelines of South Sumter. The Raider cheerleaders traveled down from Bushnell, Florida with the team, left this morning, and they're here to see a good one. It's 7-7. The Raiders and the Chaminade Lions all tied up, but out on the field, the Lions are charging hard, just as they did the whole first quarter. They'll start the second quarter. Down at the 12-yard line, knocking on that door. It's 1st and 10.
There you see it. 123 yards rushing, that's what they like to do. 61 yards passing, a little balance, that's what South Sumter likes to do. So both teams' offenses have got it going. Which defense will make the first big play?
Willie Floyd out the corner, turns the corner, up near the first down marker, run out of bounds. Wow, he looks smooth getting to the edge, and then when he turns it, it's dangerous.
And there's no resistance from South Sumter right now on the edge. They've got to make an adjustment, get a guy up the field and turn him inside. They're just allowing the outstanding offensive line for Chaminade to just have their way on that sweep play, whether they pull the guard or the tackle. This is a misdirection offense, but they want to get Floyd outside. It's obvious. South Sumter's end's got to step up and create some havoc in the backfield.
Gain of 8 there for Floyd. This one's going to go to Floyd. The quick pitch, trying to beat everybody to the corner, cuts it inside. Pushed from behind by the big offensive lineman, number 70, Ryan Goldman. Cuts right inside of him for a touchdown.
This is why they call it the multiple T. You've seen the buck sweep, which is a regular wing T formation. And here you see the quick sweep where they pull the left tackle out there in front of them. Big number 70, Ryan Goldman, and they just kind of wash their way into the end zone. Another touchdown for Willie Floyd. Terrific player.
You mentioned Northwestern, Purdue, Coastal Carolina. Probably a slew of others after watching them here. Good kick by Diego Palacio. Makes it 14-0. The Chaminade Lions have not been stopped offensively tonight.
And then Chaminade having their way because of their offensive line. And as I've mentioned, South Sumter, which does have the offense to match them, eventually will have to make some kind of adjustment to slow that running game down. Right now, Chaminade's having their way with the multiple T offense and Coach Guandolo. And there you see Coach Edmund Sherman, who's trying to find some answers. And again, his biggest concern when I talked with him and we talked with him, Batesy, was that offensive line of Chaminade. How do we match up with him? And really, this is the reason he went to platoon, as you mentioned earlier, 3 years ago, so that his guys would not get worn down playing both ways. You may give up a little bit in size on that defensive side, but hopefully in the end, they'll be the fresher team, is what he's counting on.
Nothing close in that first round of the regional semifinals, defeating Keystone Heights, shutting them out 35-0. Got a little bit closer against the defending champion Bowles Bulldogs, a 38-35 contest, and then the Madison County Cowboys fell last week. Two great offensive lines, and more importantly, when you look at this offense that you're seeing from Chaminade, two wing T offenses, and if you don't see it a lot, it's so hard to prepare for, but this is basically the third week in a row they've gone against a good offensive line. and a wing T team.
Yeah, this is as good offensive line as I've seen. Obviously, Madison County and Bowles very well coached also, but some wrinkles added in with the tackle pull and the quick pitch, and that's why Chaminade's up 14-7. So Chaminade up 14-7. South Sumter will come back out on the offense, and of course, that is the strength of this team with Jared Fleming, the no huddle, and the motto for Coach Sherman in South Sumter, heart and hustle. He believes his team is a better conditioned team that can play the full 48 minutes high school football, and Fleming will lead him back out on the field looking to answer the score by Chaminade.
So Jared Fleming in that offense. This one, the quick hitter going to Matt Williams, the guy who will play out in the wide receiver spot. Also move him in to the running back position. Big guy, 6 foot, 213-pound senior.
Shane Gordon in there on the top, on the stop, and look for South Sumter to continue to mix it up. They'll run inside, then they'll come out, throw it to their backs, and then head over the top to Carlos Everett. They love to really mix up their offensive plays.
Movement up front by the Raiders on the offensive line. Mike Dickerson, the right guard. Flag down on the Astro play. You gotta like this as a high school football player to be able to come and play at a place like FIU Stadium. Beautiful campus, beautiful facilities, and one heck of a playing surface.
It is, and we both had the opportunity to do games here in the past. It's a fast surface. Coach Sherman talked to A.J. Bryant, who now plays at Georgia Southern, who played at FIU this year, and he gave him the heads up, says, Coach, it's going to be a real fast surface, former South Sumter star.
Carlos Everett's going to take this one and try to do some work after the catch. Almost had the ball stripped away, pulls it back down. So a big pickup after the penalty. Alec Lucier coming up, the senior cornerback, to make that stop finally.
Just a screen out there in front of the bunch formation, and what they're trying to do is get the ball in the hands of their playmakers. He is the guy. He doesn't just go down the field, he can also make guys miss, gets up the field, hangs on the ball, good positive yards, almost an extended running play there with the quick screen, Carlos Everett.
Another flag coming down here is this time a little bit of confusion over on the Chaminade side.
Key third down early in this game. South Sumter, it gives their defense a rest. They can pick it up, and also the defensive coaches some more time to work on something to stop that Chaminade running attack. And they're trying to match scores here in the second quarter. They got a 3rd and short with an experienced quarterback. You'd love to pick this one up. Key third down.
So 3rd and 2 for the driver of this high-powered offense, Jared Fleming. And there's movement this time from South Sumter. Looked to be the tight end, Dravius Rice. But they're clapping on the Raider side. They're going to march this one off. So a first down just given away.
5-yard penalty results in a first down.
Offsides by the defense.
And Coach Guandolo Jr. can't be happy with that. A mistake that aids the drive and keeps it alive for Jared Fleming, who runs a 4-4, kicking flat out, just play football. He's a football player from the quarterback position.
Good protection up front for Fleming. He puts it back up high. Carlos Everett trying to go up for it, coming underneath. Kamar Aiken, the basketball player, knocking that one away. Basketball team waiting to get a few guys back here. Take a look at number 1 from his safety spot. Good play on.
Going back to the touchdown play, the deep end off the bunch formation. He throws it up high, and that's a ball normally Carlos Everett's going to go and catch. He missed time that one, and remember, new stadium, different lighting. Sometimes that could cause problems, but Carlos Everett usually makes that play.
So a 2nd and 10, now faking the handoff and wishing that he would have given it as he's hit hard. Kent Clancy back there. 21 tackles for loss, make that 22. And Jared Fleming meets senior defensive end Kent Clancy. Wow.
I like Kent Clancy early on, getting some penetration from his defensive end spot. A good high school football player and getting disruptive. in the backfield. That's what you want your defensive line to do tonight against both of these outstanding offenses, is get penetration and be disruptive in the backfield.
So a 3rd and 11, a power I behind Fleming. Some misdirection and setting up shop for this one, trying to make it to the sticks and get a first down, but he's chased down by a couple Lions and almost picked off. Ian Smith there on the pressure. Shane Gordon from his linebacker spot coming across almost had himself an interception here in the state championship game.
South Sumter, this gets snuffed out. Watch now, this is the play he picked up 30 yards plus earlier, but not this time as they bounce it outside. Good, terrific job right there by Hollywood Chaminade's Ian Smith of forcing him, Jared Fleming, outside and then into an ill-advised throw. He's lucky that didn't get interception, but good disciplined football by Ian Smith, number 6, the strong safety.
Tyree McCook gets this one away. Akeem Aguste lets it roll out of bounds about the 35-yard line. A punt of 33 yards, right on the average of Tyree McCook. And Jared Fleming and company a little bit frustrated after that drive. They scored quite a bit of points throughout these playoffs. So has Mark Guandolo Sr. and his bunch, his son, Mark Guandolo Jr. Talked about the special bond between father and son, playing in his last high school football game for his dad tonight, and a very special story in the Palm Beach Post just yesterday about how after their last practice yesterday, went and hugged his son and said, well, that's it. That's our very last go at it. And a few more goes added for this guy, Willie Floyd. We've seen quite a bit of him tonight, brought down by Travis Hutchison.
That's a better job. There's a flag on the play. That's a better job for South Sumter of turning him back inside and playing your keys and forcing him back inside. They'll get a benefit of the penalty as well to start this drive. And so penalties hurting Chaminade here early in the football game.
Well, a better job, but still would have been a gain of about 6 yards. So you're going to take them back and hope the penalty is going to hurt you. But
well, I certainly think, Batesy, the first key is to try to turn him back inside, because he's had there have been no stopping him once he's gotten to the perimeter tonight. And you talk back to Guandolo Jr. I mean, that's got to be a great thing for a father to be able to coach his son. And I asked him earlier this week about, you coach him hard? He says, absolutely. He goes, sometimes I think he gets mad at me. He says, but it's been a great run. It's been a great run, and regardless of the outcome on Thursday night.
Throwing it a little bit, trying to hit his tight end there, number 19, David Gungorga, coming across the middle. He looks good setting up back there and throwing the football.
He's a good high school quarterback, Guandolo Jr., and he sets up in the pocket, and you can look really good when you're behind this offensive line. Look at that protection up there. You think Drew Weatherford would like to have that kind of protection at Florida State right now? And of course, you got to make the catch, but that offensive line is very impressive.
David Gongora couldn't hold on to it, so now it's 2nd down and 20. Guandolo Jr. will keep this one and brought down, and here comes that South Sumter Raider squad. Ricky Velasquez, who is the backup defensive end, the sophomore, 5'11", 282. You call him a backup, but like we've said, they like to keep those fresh bodies in there, and there's a fresh body wearing the 44 jersey that makes a big stop for his defense. So now you're looking at a 3rd down and 22.
Now the penalty really hurt this drive, starting behind the chains, and now look for South Sumter to tee off and get really aggressive here on 3rd and long against Chaminade.
Whistles come in as Guandolo sets up. Play won't get off. And it's going to go back further into Chaminade territory.
Chaminade self-destructing on this drive, and remember that as a wing tee / multiple tee team, a team who wants to control the ball on the ground, 3rd and 27s are very difficult to overcome. Not many 3rd and 27 ball plays on the script in this offense.
Defensive line will try to get back there and put some pressure against Guandolo Jr. We mentioned Ward, Williams, Everett, and Mann, the starters, but Flincham, Griffith, Rodriguez, Velasquez, the backups in there quite a bit here. And this one's going to go to Floyd, trying to get what they can. Xavier Stinson, rather. And he'll pick up about 12 yards, way short of the first down. And here comes the punting unit for the first time tonight for the Lions.
For South Sumter, you got to feel really good about that defensive series. Obviously, the penalties help, but they get them off the field and slow the momentum of that big offensive line.
Ryan Buckle will punt this one away. Jared Fleming waits on it. Rolls in front of him. He's going to let it go, and what a roll for the Lions. What could have been great field position for South Sumter is going to pin them back at about their 13-yard line. A 55-yard punt. That South Florida breeze helping him out a little bit.
That was a mistake right there for Coach Sherman and his team. You got to come up and try to field that even on one hop.
We're running left ear cross. My two tight ends blocked out on this, okay? Left ear cross. Let's go.
Left ear cross, Brady.
Left ear cross. But yeah, if the tight ends are blocking out, I think it's quarterback keeper or run up the middle. We'll see what happens. Certainly, he doesn't want to get cute back here inside his own 20. We just want to kind of get it out, move the chains, try to get field position back in your favor midway here through the second quarter.
Here's your left ear cross, and it goes to Nick Southall. Rather, Jared Fleming keeping it, putting it in the belly of Southall, pulling it out. So Coach Inman Sherman over there on the sidelines, as he's been for the past 21 years at South Sumter High School in Bushnell, calling the left ear cross. The tight ends do block out. Here's a look at his quarterback, running it to perfection.
Great job by Fleming reading the defensive end as he comes unblocked down on the fullback. He keeps it, gets up there, and now has 52 yards rushing on the night.
Fleming in the shotgun. This time he will give it to Southall. He's hit hard, not before he crosses the first down marker, gets up near that 25-yard line. Shane Gordon, the freshman. How about that? Pads popping for a freshman, huh, Brady?
I think I was still wearing flags when I was a freshman. I don't think I could have put pads on, but this is a good-looking kid for the young ninth grader.
Oh, yeah. Almost had the interception earlier. So first down pickup for the Raiders. This give to Matt Williams, the power back, who has really filled in for that power role after Richard Kelly went down, the broken collarbone. Number 20, Cleo Edwards on the stop.
Yeah, when you lose Richard Kelly, you lose a big part of your offense, your production, your touchdowns, your playmaker. Obviously, Carlos Everett, Jared Fleming, two big-time playmakers are going to have to pick up the slack tonight without Kelly.
2nd and 8 now. This one goes again to Matt Williams. And this time stopped for a 2-yard pickup as they make that 30-yard line. So a 3rd down and 5 now.
Fleming will get the call from the sideline. 3rd and 5 is manageable. You'd love to get him out on the flank. The only problem, should get it on the right hash, so he's going to be throwing to his left.
And here he goes. Fleming will roll out. He can throw on the run, but he sets up shop and tries to get this one off. Kamar Aiken, the closest one to it. Aiken couldn't come down with it, diving to try to get the pick. The junior couldn't hold on to it. Tony Smith, the intended receiver, sophomore wide receiver. So just as it was a big stop for the Raider defense, a very big stop for the Lions as well, Brady.
Yeah, feeling out process for the defense. I think both sides are now starting to settle in defensively, get a feel for what they want to do, and you're starting to see the byproduct of that right now as both teams coming up with big stops.
Beautiful kick by Tyree McCook. And it fumbled. This one's going to go to the Raiders. There's the break they were looking for, down 14-7. Number 82, that's Zach Robinson down there falling on it. Got himself a huge fumble recovery in the 2A state championship game. $14-7, 5:06 left to go in this one before halftime, and keep that. Back at FIU Stadium, where Chaminade leads South Sumter 14-7. The 7 points for South Sumter came at the hands of Carlos Everett, and everybody in red and black stood up and cheered, but a guy wearing orange and blue cheered a little bit louder, didn't he, Kim Anthony?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm down here with Earl Everett. Now, Earl, what does it feel like standing here at the state finals watching your high school team play?
Oh, it feels great, man. You know, I'm so excited for those guys. You know, they made history, you know, first time ever coming to a state championship game, but I'm so happy for them.
Now, what do you think of your brother, Carlos?
Oh, Carlos, man, he's a heck of a player, man. He's been playing hard, working hard all year long, and it's just paying off for him.
All right, thank you so much. All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kim, and thank you, Earl. Fun guy to watch play for those Gators defensively, and this guy's been fun to watch tonight. Carlos Everett, the big touchdown catch to get on the board for the South Sumter Raiders.
Carlos Everett doing something Earl couldn't do, not only getting here, but getting past Corky Rogers and Bowles in Jacksonville. Of course, they defeated them 17-14 when Earl was a senior, but they gave him a good run.
So, play action pass. Jared Fleming sets up and can't find Matt Williams. So, baby brother takes down the Bowles Bulldogs, and you know who heard quite a bit of that is Todd McCullough, also a linebacker there for the Gators. Here's Jared Fleming.
Jared Fleming on the play action. They get in the power eye, so they think run. He sets and throws it. Just a little off there, and Fleming early on not as sharp throwing the ball as he was coming into this game.
So sharp defensive play. They're led by Shane Gordon, the freshman linebacker, getting back there, and number 15, Kent Clancy, the defensive end.
Good young defense, a 3-4 look from Chaminade. They really do a lot of different things up front. Very complex defense for high school. They like to slant and zone blitz and move guys around, just try to confuse the offense and get them out of their assignments. And this is another big third down, coming off converting, a chance to convert off a turnover.
Defensively, the Chaminade Lions thought they were going to get a break, get off the field, only to march right back out after the fumble. Jared Fleming runs and pitches this one out to Tony Smith, and Tony Smith is just driven down to the turf. Xavier Stinson, running back and linebacker, stepped up and hit him.
Terrific play right here by number 4. Annalise is getting out on the edge and making the tackle. And this is the thing that Chaminade's doing early on in this game. Look at him, he double plays it perfectly, doesn't commit completely to the quarterback, and Annalise gets out there and makes a terrific play. That's great coaching. That's also a terrific athletic play for Chaminade.
So fourth down, they're going to go for it. 4th down and 12. Jared Fleming turns this one up and lets it go. Down near the first down marker, but not quite close enough. Carlos Everett.
It looks like he's going to come up a little bit short, so South Sumter is going to come up empty after the turnover. The one benefit is the field position, but obviously pressure caused by blitzing safeties. There you see him getting up the field. Annalise's again, and this Chaminade defense is really getting after Jared Fleming early on in this football game, forcing him to get out of his comfort zone. He steps up, and Everett does a nice job coming back to the football, but by then he wasn't deep enough off the original route for the first down.
So, back in the hands of Guandolo Jr. and back into the hands of Willie Floyd. And this time he stopped right at the line of scrimmage by a host of Raiders led by Ricky Velasquez.
Good job there by South Sumter. Seems to have a handle now on the sweep as this game kind of flattens out a little bit as far as letting the defense take over. There you see Velasquez, just a sophomore. And again, from the defensive line position, they need more penetration from those big fellas up front against this outstanding offensive line.
So a 2nd down and long now, Guandolo. This one goes to Stinson. Willie Floyd, rather. And a textbook tackle stepping up, Tyree McCook from his cornerback spot.
There you see it right here. Now they're going to get the first 2 guys blocked. There you see him block the end and the play side linebacker. But there's 15 stepping up and making the play. Take another look at it. Tyree McCook coming up, wrapping up, driving him to the ground. Textbook, as my friend Bates. You ever make any tackles like that, Batesy?
No, not like that.
You
Not
just fell on the pile, huh?
J.O.P. jumping on pile. 3rd down and 6 for Guandolo Jr. Great protection once again up front. Brandon Ward trying to put some pressure on and run him down. And how about this pass? The big first down pickup Mark Wandolo Jr. buys himself enough time in helping him out as his senior running back out in the flat. Willie Floyd, 14 yards, and that's a first down for the Chaminade Lions.
What about the savviness of the senior quarterback, knowing where the down and distance was and knowing where the yard marker was there? You see him making people avoid, keeping his eyes down the field instead of looking at the pass rush, and then just dumps it out there. Find his big fella. Xavier Stinson, look at him, just kind of drop it. A teardrop pass for a first down by Wandolo Jr.
And after all that,
Dad's still giving him an earful.
He's got it. He's trying to win a state championship here. This draw going to Willie Floyd. Willie Floyd changing direction, coming back across. A huge block by Kamar Aiken. And Floyd down across the 25, the 20, makes two guys miss. Almost gets down to the end zone, down the 11-yard line. Wow. Is this guy a special athlete, or what a 53-yard gain?
Well, they finally got him to run between the tackles, but that doesn't work. Heck, look at it. He's going to go right up the middle on the old Statue of Liberty play. Big hole created by the middle of that offensive line. Then he finds daylight, much like Reggie Bush out at USC. Anytime he gets into the open field, he looks for the sideline, as all great running backs do. And a big, big run right there by Willie Floyd.
And we're not even through this first half yet, and Willie Floyd has already racked up 181 yards. Look at his head coach, Mark Wandolo Sr. And wow, pounding it hard through there, Xavier Stinson, the other running back. 780 yards for Stinson before tonight on 112 carries. So Floyd goes over and takes a little break, and Stinson just keeps it charging. A pickup of 5. Second down and 5 now, and they can get a first down.
Clock becoming an issue. They're going to have to speed up here a little bit.
Or will they?
They don't need to if they're going to pound it in.
And pounding it is what they do. Number 5, Xavier Stinson, making it 20-7. The Chaminade Lions looking strong once again. 40 seconds left to go in this first half of play.
What a huge swing in momentum. The fumbled punt at 14-7. You're in the red zone area inside the 25. South Sumter comes away with nothing, and then they turn the tables on them. Chaminade goes right back down the field. Big play from Willie Floyd, and the touchdown by the big fella, Xavier Stinson.
Palacio, the point after, is good. So 21-7. And what a swing, Brady. Just when the South Sumter Raiders thought they'd tie it back up, Chaminade takes it the other way.
Xavier Stinson coming right at you, following that big number 72, Nwankwo, coming up in there, finding pay dirt. And the one thing these Chaminade backs know how to do is get into the end zone. That is a big-time fullback right there, Hollywood Chaminade.
How about Hollywood Brady Ackerman showing up here tonight, ready to roll?
I'm seeing some stars tonight now. Xavier Stinson, Willie Floyd. I'm seeing some stars tonight. Obviously, Carlos Everett.
Hollywood, Florida, beautiful part of the Sunshine State. The Hollywood Boardwalk, Hollywood Beach, wonderful place to be. And doesn't Mark Wandolo Sr. know it? He couldn't stop talking about places like La Tub, which I probably shouldn't give away, one of the hidden spots down here in South Florida. And coming down and finding a good spot to eat. Guys like Carlos Everett and company getting a pregame meal on the road in Fort Lauderdale this afternoon as they made the drive, tried to keep everything the same as a regular game day. And you say game day, but usually in high school it's a game night, and that throws a lot of these teams off. You know, a lot of these teams throughout the next couple weeks will play their games at 1 o'clock in the afternoon in the early games, and when you played at night for so long, it can be a little bit of a curveball that's tough for some teams to adjust to.
Well, South Sumter could use a big return here, maybe get a chance to chuck a couple into the end zone or certainly into the scoring zone to Carlos Everett. See if they can get a big play in the return game, try to sneak some points out of here before the half.
The way Diego Palacios been kicking them into the end zone, they may not get a shot. This one goes into the end zone as well. So with the exception of last week, he's kicked almost all of them into the end zone, Coach Guandola was telling me, and they decided to water the field at Dolphin Stadium last week. I don't know why, but how about these guys? High school football players, here they are playing in their state championship game, and in the semifinals last week against Clewiston, they get a chance to play where the big dogs play, in Dolphin Stadium. Clewiston didn't want to play the game in the afternoon, so Coach Guandola was searching everywhere he could for lights. He called his friend and president of Dolphin Stadium, Bruce Schultze, said, how can I rent some lights? He said, why don't you just play here? He said, you better not be fooling. So
Awesome
last weekend
stuff.
they were at Dolphin Stadium, and next weekend that's where we'll be with our coverage here on Sun Sports of the 2005 FHSAA football finals. But it's 3A, 4A, 5A, and 6A games that will take place across the Sunshine State tomorrow night to find out who's going to be there.
So many great players from South Florida, from all these schools, the smaller schools and the big schools that we'll be talking about over the next couple of weeks. And what a great place to have the state finals in South Florida. Really, a couple of years after the hurricanes, everything that's been down here, great high school football down here.
Absolutely, and since these high school state championships have been centralized, it's the first time they've come to South Florida. Teams scrapping their way, trying to make it to the top, only to get to the bottom of the Sunshine State. Beautiful weather down here for high school football Thursday night under the lights. We've had quite a show from the Chaminade Lions in the first half. And Willie Floyd, the senior running back, getting into the end zone a couple times. A lot of drama. South Sumter Raiders finding the end zone only one time. Let's see in the second half if they can put some more points on the board. We've got quite a halftime show for you here on Sun Sports. Stick around. We'll be right back with Kim Anthony, Brady Ackerman, and James Bates.
Heads to the end zone for the 15th time this season. That's the 7 South Sumter points, but Chaminade doing it on the ground. Obviously, with their running game, Willie Floyd, who's put up sick numbers in the first half. 15 carries, 184 yards, and 2 outstanding touchdowns. And, of course, the big fella gets it in as well, Xavier Stinson.
That's right. Here comes Xavier Stinson. He wears number 5. Floyd wears number 9. And the big guys wearing the double-digit numbers up front have been so strong for the Chaminade Lions. Can they find a way to stop them in that South? Getting things hopping here, ready for the second half. And Inman Sherman, the head coach of the South Sumter Raiders, with Kim Anthony right now.
All right, Coach Sherman, what type of adjustments does your team need to make in order to slow down the run and prevent the big plays in the second half?
I think a lot of them. They're a great football team, and we're going to do a number of things to try to adjust here. We had a chance here in the first half on a break on a punt drop and didn't stick it in, so that's the offense's fault. But we just got to come back, make some adjustments, keep playing hard. We've got another half here, and we've got a great team that doesn't quit, so we'll give it another shot here.
All right, thanks, Coach.
Okay, thank you, dear.
All right, guys, back to you.
Sherman, very cool and collected. He's got a cool cucumber at quarterback. Let's see if they can lead that charge and come back.
Making blocks. That's our plan because they have such a potent offense. We got to control the ball and run it, and we were able to do it. You know, we got a whole half to play.
What'd you tell your team during halftime?
Well, you know, you can't think about the end. You got to take one play at a time. That's all we're talking. Defense, offense, special teams, one play at a time. And I told them we got to keep hitting. We got to keep hitting.
All right, thanks,
All right,
Coach.
thank you.
All right, guys, back to you.
Thank you, Kim. They can't think about the end, but the guy wearing number 9 tonight, Willie Floyd, Brady, he can sure think about that end zone, can he?
He surely can find it. And you know, this is a program that had a 17-game winning streak that was snapped a year ago, and it lost to Immokalee. And he said he felt like his guys got complacent, and they learned a valuable lesson from that loss a season ago, and they certainly got it going. They're 2 quarters away, half a football away from another state championship.
Those Immokalee Indians who went on to win the state championship last year behind the legs of Baby J, who's a senior this year. They lost to Glade Central, and everybody at that point had the Chaminade Lions as maybe the best in the state. Chaminade looking pretty good right now as we start this second half. Cody Stump will kick it off for the Raiders. Or maybe he won't. Ball gets out there into the hands of Willie Floyd, but blow this one dead. The flag's on the field.
Prior to the kick, encroachment by the kicking team. 5-yard penalty. Replay the free kick down.
Pretty impressive half for Willie Floyd. We're talking about 15 carries, 184 yards, 12 yards a pop. He's just such a threat. And I know Northwestern's the biggest school right now on his list. He's a guy that fits that system for Randy Walker perfectly. They had a freshman at Ohio this year, had a terrific year, but he's a guy I could see going to Northwestern. Not only does that place a good academic school, and they won 7 games in the Big Ten this year, but also a place where it complements his talent. So I don't know if he's going to choose Northwestern, but boy, it's going to be a good Floyd.
Outstanding run for the Northwestern Wildcats this year. They'll back it up 5 yards and kick a sky kick this time, Cody Stump. Auguste will come up and take it. And keeps running, still going, dives across the 50-yard line. So the penalty marches him back 5 yards, and Auguste marches his squad, his offensive start in Raider territory.
Let's take a look at my man, Willie Floyd. Look at him getting out of the edge, front of those big guards out there, showing the football to the end zone again. Buck sweep once again down the field, using his feet, just gliding. It's effortless the way that he runs the football. And here's the quick toss where he knows what to do, dips it up inside and gets to the end zone. Willie Floyd really showing some speed on the outside. And he also showed the ability to run on the inside in the first half as well.
Perfect way to describe him. Effortless running. And with that, you don't want him starting in your territory, but when you come hard charging like that, defensively, Kendall Smith steps up from his linebacker spot to take down Willie Floyd. Kendall Smith, 134 tackles, leading the team, the junior.
And you know, Bates, the biggest pressure on a linebacker in the wing T is reading his keys. And he sees that guard pull. He's got to step up in there and fill. And Smith, 29, who's a big-time playmaker for South Sumter, comes up and finally fills the gap in there for a negative play. Maybe that is the first negative run all night for Willie Floyd.
Well, Kendall Smith sure looks the part, doesn't he, of a linebacker? We saw him down in pregame. A heck of a looking junior. Here we go, 2nd down and 12 now for Guandolo, and he'll get this one out to Willie Floyd. Willie Floyd gets turned and gets the first down, or at least up near the marker. Big block out there by Ryan Goldman leading the way.
Kendall Smith, number 29, 16 tackles for loss coming in. Terrific linebacker. Here he is. Now he sees the quick pitch. He gets off the block of the tackle, and then he's just got to get over to the sideline. Floyd's so quick. I mean, it's not like he took a bad angle there, but Floyd has such great speed that when he gets on the edge, he usually is going to pick up big yardage.
Kamar Aiken doing an excellent job of blocking downfield. These Chaminade receivers have to block. This one goes to Xavier Stinson, the quick hitter, and nobody can get him. Xavier Stinson, touchdown number 2, right off the bat to open the second half. The Chaminade Lions are on the board one more time. A 36-yard touchdown run.
Well, they went sweep, then they went quick toss, came back with the inside trap. Perfect play inside the wing T offense, the multiple T offense for Chaminade. Good blocking up front in the middle of the offensive line. We spent so much time tonight talking about those big tackles. Xavier Stinson is a load up the middle. You can't arm tackle the big fella.
Diego Palacio in to kick this one, hit both of his point after tries so far tonight. 58-60 coming in, and this one is fumbled. Couldn't hold on to it. They called a fire, and it's going to go down to number 1. Kamar Aiken's going to pick this one up. So a bobbled snap. Joe DeSanti, the holder, number 32. How about this? Making something out of nothing, Brady.
All right, well, that was a great heads-up play, the old fire drill. But let's take a look at the inside of this offensive line right there. Watch those 3 guys inside working. See the trap play, the kick out right there on the 3 technique. And Stinson finds the crack, gets up the field, uses the stiff arm, runs through an arm tackle. Big, powerful, iron head Hayward-looking fella. Xavier Stinson taking it to the touchdown.
And he's a glider as well. Here's a key block downfield.
Yeah, look at those guys lock up right there. I mean, that's just terrific blocking, terrific technique there by number 70, the outstanding offensive lineman for the Hollywood Chaminade Lions.
Big Ryan Goldman, the junior. We talked about the juniors on the other side. They're the big linemen taking a little break back there on the bench. 71, Vinny Nardelli, also a junior. 4 juniors up there on that offensive line. The senior center, Quentin Maynard, anchoring it down. Diego Palacio try to put this one into the end zone and out of the hands of Jared Fleming one more time. And it's 29-7 after that 2-point conversion.
Exactly what South Sumter didn't want coming out of the locker room.
Carlos Everett will have a chance. Taking this one at his 2. Some blockers up front. He follows that wedge out across the 20-yard line. And Jared Fleming will start the 22.
I think if there's any opportunity for South Sumter to win this game, not only does 3 have to touch the ball many more times, but Jared Fleming's got to be more efficient at the quarterback spot. He was 3 of 8 for 81 yards, so got the big play for the touchdown, but really thought Chaminade did a nice job when he was throwing the football of harassing him and getting him out of his comfort zone. And he doesn't have to get it all back on this series, but they need a couple of scores in this quarter if they're going to get back in this football game.
Trying to put something together here, the first drive of the second half. Southall will take this one. Trips over his own lineman, Mike Dickerson's legs, the senior guard there in front of him. You know, you're exactly right. No groove whatsoever so far for Jared Fleming. You talk to Coach Sherman, you talk to Mike Haid at Fort Meade, who played against him, all these coaches, and they say this guy may be the best high school quarterback that I've seen in a long time. Inman Sherman says that it's the best high school quarterback he's ever been around, but he hasn't shown that. He's shown flashes of it, but not the consistency throughout this first half. Inman Sherman taking a look at his injured player. That's Joey Martinez.
Yeah, the outstanding sophomore who's going to be around, play a lot of football years to come. But you know, Jared Fleming's done a little bit with his legs, but most of that coming early on the 32-yard bootleg keep. And, you know, now he's going to have to put the game on his back and his shoulder, and they may have to spread some things out because this is a very fast Chaminade defense. And really, when you spread them out, the best way to attack them, I think, is right at them. And unfortunately, they don't have their big fullback, Richard Kelly, who was their season's leading rusher with 638 yards at 7.1 a clip. They could really use that fullback pounding the rock up the middle. Big drive, though, for South Sumter here in Jared Fleming.
So Martinez is out. Big Joe Gwynn, the senior, taking his spot there at that left guard spot. Trying to buy some time for the quarterback, senior Jared Fleming. 2nd and 10. Gets this one out to Everett. And Everett breaks a couple tackles, had a couple blocks, and picks up the big yardage you were talking about, Brady. There's the big play, the big flash. Finally took down by Kamar Aiken.
Now, this guy's got to touch the ball 10 or 12 times in the second half if they're going to have a chance. They've had success with this play. It's just a quick screen out there, almost like a wide sweep to the receiver. Let your best playmaker get up the field north and south, downhill, and pick up positive yards, a big gain for South Sumter.
When you try to run over and pull the big man down by a jersey, you get just that, a 27-yard gain. Trying to answer now. The South Sumter Raiders from Bushnell, Florida. Jared Fleming, a lot of pressure. He'll roll out. Chased hard. Finally run out of bounds. It was Greg Hayes coming from his defensive tackle spot. Just out running, number 5, Xavier Stinson, who has had 2 touchdowns tonight. We saw what he could do offensively, and from his linebacker spot, he's just as troublesome there for the Raiders.
Yeah, the rollout to the left hasn't worked since the first series because they're getting too much pressure with the outside linebacker and the safety. Stinson getting up the field, and of course, number 4, the outstanding freshman, Johnny Santalicius, or excuse me, the senior, and of course that has just caused them all kinds of problems.
Williams in the backfield with Fleming. He'll take it from the shotgun, sets up, finds his tight end, Travius Rice. Picks up about 7, but a flag down on the play. Xavier Stinson one more time. They're in on that tackle. 2nd on the team. We saw what he can do on offense, and he's 2nd on the team in tackles with 74 coming into tonight's game defensively from that middle linebacker spot. This one's going to come back against the Raiders here, Brady.
Holding by the offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Replay 2nd down.
Yep. Let's take a look at your right guard right in here. Excuse me, that's not your right. Yeah, your right tackle, excuse me, right there. See the hold as he brings him down to the ground. And that, of course, is going to be a hold every time.
Got your hands full when you're dealing with Big Kent Clancy. leading tackler on this squad. So now, just what you don't want if you're a Raider fan. 2nd down and 23. Just when you had something rolling. Under center is Fleming. Coming back, this one will go to the speedster, Tony Smith, the sophomore, but waiting on him are some guys that can run around quite a bit as well. That Chaminade defense led by Akeem Auguste.
And now you're in that 3rd and extra long situation, which there's not many ball plays on this one. The one good thing, they're on the left hash. Certainly any type of shot you can get down the field one-on-one with Carlos Everett is always a good chance and a good play on 3rd and 22. At least take your chances.
Coach Guandolo said that either corner, Auguste or Blucher, whoever he had lined up against Carlos Everett, he felt good with. He felt that both of his guys could cover. They've done a pretty good job tonight with the exception of the one big touchdown. Plenty of time for Fleming. Tucks it up and tries to get up the field. Steps out of bounds, though, after a gain of only about 2. It was 3rd down and 21, so the punting unit will come out. It looks like a little hobble there in the step of the big quarterback.
Yeah, Auguste and Blucher in the backfield with Aiken in the secondary, just playing a 3-deep zone coverage, dropping the deepest 3rd. Good job down the field in coverage. Really nowhere for Jared Fleming to go against Mark Wandolo's defense, and another stop for Chaminade.
Tyree McCook has had a good night punting. This one's going to sail high. Down waiting on it is Auguste. Calls the fair catch but lets it bounce. And another good hop. These punters have had some good hops tonight. And, well, playing with a heavy heart is this man. Tyree McCook, the McCook brothers, Sid McCook, his brother, their stepmother passed away last Sunday. She also had a grandson on the team, Jarvis McCook. The 3 McCooks on the team, so special to this team, and they lost a woman that has been very special to them their entire lives. So playing with heavy hearts, but Coach Sherman said that being around their teammates has helped them a great deal this week. So our thoughts and prayers with the McCook family as they battle through the tough times.
Amen to that. And sometimes you find a little bit of solace.
Lock in the back by the receiving team. Post scrimmage kick enforcement. 10 yards from the end of the run. 1st and 10.
A little solace on the football field. Football teaches you a lot in life, as you see Mr. McCook right there. And you're going to experience some adversity in football, and you're going to experience adversity in life. And football helps you handle life and how you deal with that. And these kids, it's a lot to say about these kids, Batesy, for them to be here playing tonight. And as you mentioned, with a heavy heart, it's a tough story. I echo the sentiments.
Very tight-knit team, very tight-knit community, helping the McCook brothers to get through the hard times. Number 42, Sid, is Tyree's brother. And right through that linebacking core goes T.J. Mitchell this time. Number 30 is going to get his way all the way down to the 25, 26-yard line for a big 1st down, a 15-yard pickup. So some fresh meat in there. The sophomore running back.
Mitchell comes in averaging 9 yards plus a carry. He's just looking for some totes back there with Floyd and Stinson eating him up all season, but he's going to be a good one in years to come. And of course, South Sumter down right now, but they got to battle back. Jared Fleming hoping to get another shot with the ball here with the scores the same. They need a defensive stop. It's that Chaminade offensive line really starting to wear down South Sumter.
Fleming over there sitting next to Martinez, who was injured earlier. One more time is T.J. Mitchell, and this time the sophomores met hard. Host of tacklers led by the top tackler on this defense, 29, Kendall Smith.
Good player, Kendall Smith, coming down and bringing the heat from the linebacker position, scraping down and making the tackle right near the line of scrimmage. And that's why so many college recruiters are already calling his number as a junior over at South Sumter.
Coach Sherman told us a great story this week. He said that Urban Meyer was in his office, came through last spring, and Kendall Smith comes walking through there, and he says, "Who's he? Can he come to my camp?" he does look the part, and I think Urban Meyer, who definitely has an eye for talent, he knows more than we do. He thought so too, and tried to get him to his camp. So a short pickup there for Xavier Stinson back in the game, carrying the ball after a couple carries by T.J. Mitchell, junior running back.
And you see what Chaminade's doing when you go back and you think about the top of the broadcast. They want to ball control. They want to run the football. They want to keep the tempo at their pace, where South Sumter wants to speed the game up offensively. They have not been able to do that. Chaminade's defense has had the answer for them. And conversely, Chaminade's offense is putting on a dominating running performance right now against a solid South Sumter defense.
Well, who's got the answer now? Big play now, 3rd down and 2 for Guandolo Jr. in that Lion offense. This one goes to Stinson, close to the sticks. This one's going to depend on the spot, very close. And the Raider defense trying to get that ball back in their offense's hands and take it away from Mark Guandolo Jr. and company. Where's he going to put it down? They're going to give him the 1st down, so a big 1st down pickup.
And the power running game is really working. Of course, if you think about this game, Coach Guandolo said the most prepared team will win because they've had such a short week, both teams having to prepare for 2 outstanding offenses. And I really think even though South Sumter has seen the wing tee the last couple of weeks, I don't know if they've seen an offensive line this good. And you got to tip your cap right now to Chaminade.
I don't know if we'll see an offensive line this good the entire 2 weeks that we're here in South Florida watching the finals, or maybe a back this good. Willie Floyd shooting through there up near midfield for another 1st down for the Lions.
The one thing I like about this kid, there's many things I like. I could give you a laundry list of things, but he's a patient runner. Watch him as he comes outside once again. Outside, see how patient he is. He's setting up, waiting for his blocks to take, and it's so tough to coach that. That's a natural instinct. You teach patience with your running back by giving him an opportunity to get out on the edge and set up his blockers, and at that time, he does it and gets it done. Patient running back for a fast guy.
Well, when you've got that much of a burst, it's easy to be that patient. 18 carries. This is 19. 200 pickup of 3s, so 211 yards so far tonight. 5:26 left in the 3rd quarter. 29-7. Chaminade-Madonna, the Lions from Hollywood, Florida, taking it to the South Sumter Raiders right now from Bushnell, Florida, the heart and soul of Sumter County up in Central Florida, right near Clearmont, which is slowly but surely becoming a Orlando suburb, isn't it?
It really is. It's growing, and they're winning the line of scrimmage on 1st down. There's no question.
Xavier Stinson, 2 touchdowns on the night. Pick up a couple here, so going to get another shot to get this offense off the field, the Raiders are.
It's a little bit of thunder and lightning. You got the big fella inside, Xavier Stinson right there, and then you go outside with Willie Floyd. It's really a tough combination for the Lions. For South Sumter, once again, can use a stop, turnover, keep battling. They're within 3 scores, so there's still a lot of football left to be played.
The 3rd down and 5. Guandolo back to pass this one. Pressured, he can't get around his own offensive lineman, and a big stop for the Raiders. Sid McCook, there he is, one of the McCook brothers, in a huge play for the junior, pulling down the senior quarterback.
Well, they both had terrific plays on that one because number 15, Tyree McCook, was blanketing the tight end. The first option on that play for Guandolo Jr. was covered up, so McCook helping McCook get the sack.
Ryan Ruckle in to punt this one away for the Lions, the junior, along a 36 on the year. Hoping to get a good one off here and pin Jared Fleming, the returner, back when he starts at quarterback. Fleming will take this one at his own 11. And he's met by a couple Lions just as he crosses the 15-yard line. And that's where they'll start it. So 2 marks, junior and senior, living a dream, trying to finish it off when we come back. South Sumter Raiders trying to battle back a 22-point deficit, and we told you how the McCook family has been battling through some tough times, and right now Kim Anthony is with some members of their family.
Hey guys, I'm here with Rodney and Dexter of the McCook family. Now, I'd like to ask you about how hard it's been for the boys as they've had to prepare for this state game.
It's been very difficult for them, but we came close together, and supporting them very well, encouraging them to continue to come out and play, and let them know we'll be a supporter.
Was there ever any doubt in your mind that they would be here playing tonight in the finals?
No, it wasn't no doubt. We like I said, we encourage them to keep, have faith and, go play and have to release some of the stress off of them. Come out tonight and play.
That's good. Now, tell me about what they have to do now once this game is over. What is the process?
We have tomorrow. We have the wake where they go view the body, and then Saturday is the funeral. You know.
Well, you know what? Our hearts go out to you, and our prayers are with you, okay?
All right, thank you.
Thanks so much for talking with us. Well, guys, you know what? We see the example of the physical strength all the time, but here right now is a key example of the emotional strength of these guys on the field. Back to you.
Absolutely right. Thank you very much, Kim Anthony and members of the McCook family. Makes it all seem irrelevant, but the power of sports, that what it can do to help people through certain things. Quite a bit of kids that are playing in the state championships this weekend and in the semifinals that are battling through being displaced by Hurricane Katrina, that have made their way to the state of Florida to play football, help them through those hard times.
And like I said before, I think football helps you deal with hard times because you're going to go through it in life. And it's a game of up and downs, and right now Jared Fleming goes down, although there's a flag down. A good play starting out with Matt Williams, excuse me, from Fleming to start that series is South Sumter's not out of it now. If they can get a score before the end of the quarter, it's a 2-score game going to the fourth quarter. Anything can happen.
Flag on the play. This one's going to go back the other way. Illegal procedure against the Raiders.
Illegal formation by the offense. That penalty is declined. Second down.
One of our first looks defensively there on a play that's going to come back, Brady. Jordan Delegal.
Yeah.
Good-looking linebacker for the Chaminade Lions. NC State, Mississippi, Wisconsin, Iowa all after him. Wisconsin. Camp Randall Stadium. That's quite a place.
Yeah, it is.
Well, place to be for the Florida State Seminoles. They can earn a BCS bid with a win Saturday in Jacksonville against Virginia Tech. So tune in Saturday night at 7 for complete pregame coverage of the big game. Host Whit Watson along with Terry Norvell, and Brady Ackerman will tell you what FSU has to do to win this game. The ACC Championship pregame presented by Regions Bank Saturday night at 7, only on Sun Sports. It's usually you, Brady, but you can't. I'm not letting you leave, man. I'd miss you too much. You got to stay here for these state championships.
We got too many high school football games to do this weekend, but Terry and Whit will have the pregame for you. They've been on the Seminole postgame all season long, and that will offer some hope for the Seminole fans as they get ready to take on Virginia Tech. And there's been bigger upsets in the world than Florida State beating Virginia Tech. Matter of fact, Bobby Bowden's never lost to Virginia Tech.
Well, we'll see Antoine Smith's team here on Saturday. This ball well over the head of Matt Williams. And Jared Fleming has not found that groove yet, but Antoine Smith, we watched him run all over the field in the swamp last year in the state championship game, winning the Pahokee Blue Devils their second straight state championship for Leroy Foster. They'll take on a Gator, Kerwin Bell, and his Trinity Catholic Celtics.
Coming up Saturday, that's going to be a terrific matchup, and you know, looking at two teams there, this has been a terrific matchup as well.
So all weekend long, we'll have big plays like the one by Kendall Smith, the linebacker, having a little bit of trouble making things happen over there offensively. Well, forget that two-platoon system. Let's go back to the days of old and do whatever we can to get some yards.
And South Sumter's not going to quit in this game. I keep mentioning that because, you know, you look at the quality of opponents they've beaten just to get here in Bowles and Madison County. Of course, their loss early in the season, their only loss in the season to Eastridge, who completed Class 6A 10-0, #1 in regular season, gave up a kick return and an interception return in that game and losing by 1 score. So this is a team that will not quit on you.
Very tough schedule for them and trying to finish out that 2005 schedule with a state championship win. And Jared Fleming getting through there for a first down. Leo Edwards gets him, but not before he finds the sticks and gets across. We're up to that 40-yard line.
Well, he wants to throw it, and he drops back out of the shotgun. Good job by his offensive line right there protecting, but once it breaks down, he decides to tuck it and run it. And this is the added dimension that quarterbacks are bringing to the table, not only in the high school level now, but at college and in the pros.
Thank you.
Carlos Everett's going to get this one coming around the end to pick up a 5 yards. And you talk about that tough schedule, a schedule that started with 6A Power Eastridge. Then they take on Union County year in, year out, a powerhouse for Buddy Nobles. Jones, a lot of speed, Orlando Jones. And Fort Meade, defending state champion, and a team that'll be here this weekend taking on Port St. Joe.
Good drive right here for South Sumter. And, a couple minutes left in the third quarter. If they can come away with some points, anything can happen. Jared Fleming starting to get in a little bit better rhythm now, this Raider offense.
Points are key right now as we tick down near the end of this third quarter. Jared Fleming trying to find some time, finally tucks it away, and he's going to get hit hard. Steps out of bounds, and a little bit late coming in is Ian Smith as he laid the lumber, and a flag comes down, and trying to protect their quarterback are some of the Raiders.
Well, this may be the fire that lights up South Sumter. The late hit, Ian Smith, clearly he was out of bounds. And that's going to put the Raiders in red zone territory. Here he is going to the left again. He loves to roll to his left. He is clearly going out of bounds, and there's a shot. Ian Smith got to find the sideline. Once again, clean shot, but a late shot. And that's a personal foul. And now South Sumter's got something cooking.
Ian Smith, also a basketballer. Kamar Aiken, Akeem Auguste, 3 of the big basketballers on the varsity team. That's number 1 in Dade and Broward County. Trying to play a little defense right now, though, and keep the Raiders out of the end zone. One more time going to Kendall Smith.
Really like that secondary. I know it wasn't a play that Mark Wandolo will give them a minus on when you get that penalty, but that secondary all night's done a really good job. I mean, they have really forced Fleming to have to tuck it and run it in coverage. All of those guys athletic, really good high football IQ in the secondary, and physical guys in that Chaminade Lions secondary.
So 2nd down and 8 now. Power eye in the backfield, and this one's going to come to Carlos Everett. Carlos Everett trying to get in, gets down near the first down marker. Akeem Auguste coming up from the corner spot to bring him down. And you see the urgency there in the hand of Joey Martinez saying, let's get it going, a no-huddle offense all the way through and a big play.
A little end around to Carlos Everett. He lowers his shoulder, tries to deliver some punishment of his own for the Raiders, and starting to see Coach Sherman get creative on offense and finding ways to get the ball in the hands of his playmakers.
Big first down pickup. 1st and goal from the 3 now. Fleming will roll, outrun his blocker, and try to get to the corner. He does. So for the first time since the first quarter, Jared Fleming in this Raider offense finds the paint. This one they needed it the most.
He used every bit of that 4.4 40 speed right there on the edge. Great heart and desire getting to the end zone. Now they'll look to go for 2 to cut it to a 14-point game. I like the call. Some people say you don't go for it early. I think you're 3 scores full down. I like the call here to go for 2.
And the call goes to Jared Fleming, who steps right in, and that's when we've got a 14-point game. And once again, we've got a ball game here in the 2A state championship. Mark Sally, the left guard, leading the way.
Now watch him get out on the edge. Now he wants to throw this first, but he gets pressure up the field, so he tucks it and goes to the pylon with his 4.4 speed, easily getting there for the touchdown. A terrific athlete and just a gamer. I mean, you throw that label out a lot in football, but this guy is a gamer. And I don't care what the college recruiters say about his height. He can flat out play football for somebody.
You know, he doesn't really care either. Inman Sherman does. He cares. He says, you know, all these recruiters come in, they want him to play DB or they want him to play wide receiver. And it makes Coach Sherman mad because he said, haven't you seen this kid throw? But he said his quarterback, Jared Fleming, could care less. He just wants to play ball at the next level. FSU did call this past week, he said, looking at him as a defensive back, though.
Well, he's a kid, obviously, with the success at this program, the success in high school, will get an opportunity to go play college at the next level, and you get your education and play college football no matter what position. That's a great thing.
Well, education very important, just as football is for that man. A 4.4 GPA. Georgia Southern, Navy, Bowling Green, FIU, and Don Strock here for the Golden Panthers. All recruiting him heavily. Cody Stump will kick this one off to, guess who? Willie Floyd. They'd love to put this one in the end zone and make the Lions start at the 20.
There you see his average. He's just, that guy is big-time player back there.
And he's going to get a chance at it, picking it up at his own 5. Here come a couple Raiders waiting on him, though, and he outruns them, gets it up across the 20, the 25, the 30. Shoestring tackle by number 5 for the Raiders, Mario Elder. Your man tripped him up, or he could have taken it to the house, Brady.
Good for Mario Elder, but check out the, it's like he's playing at a different speed or seeing the game differently than everybody else. Look at him, he's just kind of gliding through there. Oh, I see a cutback, I'm going to get up the middle, which is where you find all your big kick returns. And he just gets tripped up by Mario Elder, who just gets his shoestring. Look at it, oh, right there.
That's a 28-yard kickoff return. What is that, the C button now? They got too many buttons on the video games now. Give me Tecmo Bowl in that one pass that nobody can stop. Well, not many have been able to stop Willie Floyd this season, and the Raiders have had a tough go at it here in tonight's 2A state championship game, and a big gainer there for the senior.
Ika Namwako out in front, and you know, with this offense, he's going to make me say that name all night because he's out there, big number 72, Nawako. He just closes the edge off. There looks like there's nothing there, and they still get 5 yards. And South Sumter defended that about as well as you can. They got penetration up the field. Everybody was there. But when Nawako pulled out there, got out on the edge, Willie Floyd finds 5 yards.
What a good-looking high school offense for Mark Wandolo Sr. And with that, his left guard, Vinny Nardelli, the junior, jumps offside, so they're going to take this one back the other way, just what you didn't want if you're wearing that Nittany Lion-looking uniform.
Prior to the snap, false start by the offense. 5-yard penalty, remains second down.
Could old Mo be swinging back towards the South Sumter side? Their fans, the whole city is here. Bushnell and getting them fired up.
Came down the turnpike.
That is a lobster hat.
I've got that hat at home. Trying to fish out a first down here. TJ Mitchell bottled up there after about a 3-yard gain. The whole town of Bushnell down underneath us here at FIU Stadium. Perfect place here for these state championships. Kendall Smith, Sid McCook in on the stop. 2 juniors playing the linebacker position. Flanking the senior Brady Jackson, who has been big time for this defense. There's a look at the South Sumter faithful.
Great crowd here, and the football is such a game of emotion, and South Sumter could get one stop right here. We're going to have a heck of a fourth quarter.
Well, you got to stop that, and they can't do it. A big pickup. David Gongora, the senior, setting up shop down at the 45-yard line, and Mark Wandolo Jr. finding him for a huge first down, a 19-yard gain.
That's why he's 21-3 as a starter. The coach's son, poised in the pocket, delivers the ball on time in traffic across the middle. We'll take a quick look. Watch this. Good protection up front, standing tall in the pocket, lets it go in the dig route. Boy, these quarterbacks, both of them, throw the ball over the middle of the field as well as any high school quarterbacks you will see. And that was a terrific throw by Wandolo Jr.
And that's the end of the quarter. Wandolo Jr. about to play his very last quarter for the Lions and his dad. Can they keep it alive? The dream of winning the state title together as a senior. We're going to finish it off when we return here at FIU Stadium on the campus of Florida International University in Miami, Florida. James Bates, Brady Ackerman, and Kim Anthony down on the sidelines tonight, bringing you all this 2A action as we start this fourth quarter, with the Chaminade-Madonna Lions leading the South Sumter Raiders by a score of 29-15. And just coming off a huge 3rd down and long pickup, Mark Wandolo's son, Mark Wandolo Jr., the senior quarterback, connecting with David Gongora and a fresh set of downs as we start this fourth quarter. Trying to get Big Joe Dawson, his tight end, lined up. He does, and here we go. And here we go with Xavier Stinson one more time. The ball's down on the floor. Who picks it up? Lions players say they got it back. Haven't gotten a signal from the officials yet. The way everybody's walking back, it is back in the hands of the Lions. Wow, Xavier Stinson. A couple huge runs tonight. That one looked like a big one, but he left it fall.
Yeah, this was a big opportunity for South. Sumter came into the game plus 11 in the turnover margin. Big hit right there from the secondary by Terry Mobley. Watch him come in here. Bam, puts his head right on the ball. But Emeka Nwanko chasing down the field, the outstanding junior we've been talking about, the right guard coming down the field trailing, picks up the fumble, Basie. It keeps the drive alive.
So another big first down, leading by 14. The Lions trying to add to it. TJ will take this one. TJ Mitchell. Got some headhunters coming in there trying to take him out there at the end of the play. TJ Mitchell next in line to take that ball and run with it. Willie Floyd, a senior, will graduate after this game.
There you see Mitchell. Going to be a good player for him in the future. I was talking with Ty Lawrence, one of the co-defensive coordinators before the game, and he said, you know, one of the ways we think we can stop them is create turnovers, and South Sumter have been very good all season in the turnover margin. They almost had a big one there. See if they could try to get another one to stay in this football game with Chaminade.
2nd down and 5. Gonna have to come up with a big stop, and soon. Willie Floyd back in the game, and Willie Floyd doing what he's done all night long to this Raider defense. Just sliced right through it, close to another first down for the Lions.
He has such great vision. You know, he, instead of bouncing it outside that time, take it up, take what the defense gives you, running back. You know, it isn't all about flash and dash on the outside. Sometimes you got to do the dirty work, and number 9, Willie Floyd's been doing a lot of the dirty work tonight for the Lions.
They've got the big dirties up front, those juniors. Wow, that's so impressive as you take a look at the big guys. Big Joe Dawson, even their tight end goes 290.
Wow.
So 3rd and short now. And again to Floyd, and again a first down. Across the 15, down to the 12-yard line they'll mark it as this clock continues to just eat away.
This is what I'm talking about, Bates. This is the football IQ of this kid. So you got the pull. You're pulling the backside guard around 9 out of 10 times tonight. He's taking that outside, but he knows it's 3rd and 1, and he sticks his nose up in there and gets the first down, moves the chains, and get another set of downs. Watch him right here. Normally he's been going outside. He goes up inside, takes what he can get, makes the first down. That's a good football IQ, a good instinct. Knowing you're down in distance, Willie Floyd, complete running back for Hollywood.
You see all the linemen defensively down on the ground. As down on the ground goes Mark Guandolo Jr., keeping this one around the end. But all the defensive linemen down on the ground at the hands of that big Lion offensive line. That's so impressive, and that's been happening just about on every snap tonight. A smaller defensive front over there for Coach Sherman and his Raiders, and a front that he likes to switch in quite a bit and keep them fresh, but no matter who he puts in there, this Lion offense has pretty much had its way with them. So now a 2nd down and 6 inside the 10-yard line as the Lions try to put it in and add to this 14-point lead. Total yardage 410, and trying to add to it now is Floyd. Floyd gets down for another first down. Terry Mobley again coming up with a stop, but not before the damage is done.
Good job by Nardelli that time. The other guard, haven't called his name quite as much tonight. The left guard, junior as well, getting out in front, 5'11", 270. And they're just pulling him, both guards, both ways, all night against the South Sumter defense. Only 3 seniors on the starting South Sumter defense, who 2 platoons. Obviously, a lot of success for them tonight. But there you see Nardelli, who's just been solid inside on the offensive line.
Look at the digs in that helmet, trying to put one more dig and one more hole for that man, Willie Floyd. Nardelli, the big block, just as we called his name. He put that hat on a defensive lineman and opened up the hole. There is a flag down in the corner of the end zone. Maybe a celebration penalty there, Brady. Big smile on Willie. His last go at it. How about that, going out on top as a senior? Oh, this personal foul is going to come against the Raiders. The Marines well represented over there.
Personal foul by the defense. That penalty is declined. 1 untimed down. Touchdown.
Impressive performance by the Big Uglies up front. That's right, I called them Big Uglies because I'm way up here.
Speaking of ugly, even the kicker Palacio has digs on his helmet. They're hitting over there. You love that Penn State look. Mark Wandolo bringing it down. Spent so many years in Pennsylvania, was at South Ridge, and when he came over to Chaminade, they needed new uniforms, so why not take out the red?
Watch Nardelli right here pulling out. He's going to come out here and block in space. Watch him. They're going to pull him outside. Number 71, see him out there? Pulls outside. You follow him. Easy in the end zone. The reason you can't see is he's blocking his guy off the screen. The one thing I'm really impressed with, Batesy, on these offensive linemen is you see 71 Nardelli opening up the hole there for Willie Floyd. Here you see him pulling again. Is there a bolus? Another penalty down. They try to get it to Carlos Everett again, and Sal Sumter's going backwards right now.
Holding by the offense. That penalty is declined. 4th down.
George O'Leary and maybe Joe Paterno. Coach Guandola's favorite looking team, if nothing else. Joe Paterno's had a great year as well. But George O'Leary's done a nice job. They play Tulsa Saturday. Should be a great crowd up there in Central Florida and Orlando.
Everybody thought it would not only be UTEP, but this game would be played out in West Texas in El Paso. And UTEP, the Miners, falling apart for Mike Price there at the end of the season. That was a shocker. A lot of people thought they were the strongest team by far in Conference USA, as McCook is pressured a little bit, finally gets this one off. And here's the problem that you get when you go backwards so long. You give decent field position to Chaminade, but a good roll nonetheless. Well, the Florida State Seminoles can earn a BCS bid, talking about all these big football games, with a win Saturday in Jacksonville against Virginia Tech. Tune in Saturday night at 7 for complete pregame coverage of the big game. Host Whit Watson along with Terry Norvell will tell you what FSU has to do to win this game. The ACC Championship pregame presented by Regions Bank, Saturday night at 7, only right here on Sun Sports.
I've already given those guys my keys so they know, and I'm going to help those two boys out. I told Norvell, get on there and talk about Leon Washington running the ball this week. Shorten the game. Think about this. FSU's got to shorten the game, and then they got to create a whole bunch of turnovers for Marcus Vick, much like the Miami Hurricanes did when they went to Blacksburg.
So Xavier Stinson, last time he touched it, he put it on the ground. This time he holds on to it. Kendall Smith will run him down. Well, Brady, you guys were there breaking down that game, and you know, as a Gator, I like to see my Gators do well and win that one. But you know, I felt bad for the Seminoles. That I have not seen a Seminole offense like. They've got a big, strong offensive line, a lot like this Chaminade Lion offensive line, and they look the part, but just having a lot of trouble to get it going.
Yeah, they're struggling blocking up front. And of course, Chaminade's giving a clinic on how to block up front. They're second back over 100. And they'll certainly have to do some things. They'll have to scheme up something, get the running game going with Leon Washington, and hope they can make it a 4-quarter game. I wouldn't rule out FSU in that game.
Oh, no. Over on the defensive side, you've got Ernie Sims, who we've seen quite a bit on Sun Sports, playing for North Florida Christian there in Tallahassee. Stays right at home and plays his football in Tallahassee.
Well, another thing I like about these Chaminade offensive linemen, you look at these guys, they're in pretty good shape. You know, this isn't your 300-pound belly hanging over the belt offensive linemen in high school that just get in the way. I mean, these are flat-bellied, big. These kids are going to get bigger and stronger, but they're good-looking kids. You can tell these guys work out and they can really move. They're athletic. I've never seen an offensive line that can run as well as this one at this level. Qualify that by saying at this level. I mean, there's Class 2A, and they're well coached. They've done a great job. But back to that ACC championship game, and of course, we'll have that preview on Sun Sports. Those guys will break it down for you. Certainly, they'll be highlighting Marcus Vick's struggles against Miami's defense. And if Florida State has a chance, A.J. Nicholson, Ernie Sims, Buster Davis, Broderick Bunkley, those guys up front and in the middle of that front seven, because they're not real strong in the secondary, they've got to create turnovers and cause problems with Marcus Vick.
I know you guys have a lot of fun with that show. You do such a wonderful job, all three. You really do a good job Friday nights and Saturdays.
All three of us are just me.
Well,
Just me and the
No,
other two
not
guys?
so much you. Actually, it's going to be a lot better this weekend. Get you out of there.
That's what those guys are thinking. Oh, boy.
Listen in here, Coach Guandolo going to coach until the very last minute.
Army right 24 lead. Willie, let's run. Hit it. 2 hands on the ball. Sweet. You got to grind. Grind. Run your feet. Wide base.
He is coaching them up, Batesy. Wide base.
He is coaching them up. From Beaver Falls, Pennsylvania, same hometown as Joe Namath. Another great coach. It's a Pennsylvania guy, Don Strock. Roams the sidelines here for the FIU Golden Panthers. They got a chance with a win on Saturday night to equal their best record here of 5-6. That's why we're playing tonight. Well, tonight it's been Chaminade-Madonna offensively. But Coach Guandolo wants more. Put both hands on the ball. Come on, Willie. Do something tonight.
He's coaching him like the kid hasn't played a lick all night.
There's a lead for you. He takes it outside, and Willie Floyd keeping it going, adding to those big numbers.
And staying in bounds. I'm going to go get this kid's autograph after the game. Are you kidding me? Watch him. Now he said, once again, they're going to go outside. They run the lead play to the right. He bounces it outside. Sees color, opposite color, bounces it outside. Now watch him. Watch him. He's going to stay inside. Keep the clock running. Now that's football IQ for you right there. He may be too smart for Northwestern.
Stays in bounds. A lot of smart guys coming through there. A lot of smart coaches. Dave Shula, you know, played his high school football there at Chaminade, all county in football and baseball. Then he went on to Dartmouth, of course, a head coach in the NFL. His brother Mike's doing a heck of a job with the Crimson Tide.
All right, X screen, middle screen. All right.
Defensive
Be ready.
coach is getting
Hook
ready for
and
the
ladder.
screen package,
We gotta be
trying
ready,
to coach
Freddie.
him up
Hook
against
and
number
ladder.
3,
All right.
Carlos Everton.
Watch.
You know,
Look at me.
Here goes Stinson. Stinson switches arms even. Talk about good coaching. Goes across the goal line. Give him 6 more. And the Lions are running away with it now.
impressive performance by 2 outstanding running backs and an outstanding offensive line in a running game that's as dominant as you'll see through all this football series in the state finals. Still coaching them hard, and look at them run through a tired South Sumter defense, undermanned from a size point of view, but certainly they've shown a lot of heart tonight.
And one more time, Big Nardelli, the left guard over there, putting them on the floor. Diego Palacios been busy tonight and keeps it true. So now 43 to 15. There's Mama Guandolo. We'll talk to her via Kim Anthony when we come back. (43 to 15). Lions over the Raiders. 5:57 to go in this state championship game. Time's ticking away for the Raiders if they want to get back into this one. Time's also ticking away for the Guandolo family. Very special night. And we promised you Cindy Guandolo, and she's with Kim Anthony right now.
All right, Cindy, I have been watching you run up and down the sidelines with your camera. What is going through your mind right now?
Only 5 more minutes to go, and we may have another state title under our belts as a family. So it's very, very exciting for me and for Mark and my husband, Mark Sr.
Now, what's it been like over the years watching the two of them interact both on and off the field?
I'll tell you, this has been the most magnificent journey for me because it's father and son and a bonding high school football venture. I can't describe it because I've been fortunate enough to watch them do something together that they love. It's like their sports dream.
Now, Mark has a shoulder injury, and you came in today with an injury also. Tell us what happened. Hold it up so we can see.
Got my thumb on a vase today. Just cleaning like before the game, and I had to wrap it up because it was bleeding so bad. I didn't have time to get it stitched. So I came into the game with an injury.
Well, you take care of that, and thanks, Cindy. Well,
Thank you, Kim.
You're welcome. Like mother, like son.
You got that right, Kimmy. Thank you very much. Of course she didn't have it stitched. She's a Guandolo.
Oh, yeah. There's no way. She'd have had to eat in the kid's kitchen. Wow.
Nothing's going to stop her from filming. You know, every time we see Chaminade, we've seen them quite a bit over the past few years in the state championship games. She's that big battery. When you do that much filming, you got to have the extra thick battery. That is like a brick she's got on there.
Well, she's very proud of her son and her husband tonight. They've been terrific. You think about the performance they put on. This is a South Sumter defense, by the way. They gave up 35 to Bowles in a 38-35 game. Other than that, no one else got to 30 on them, and you'd have to go all the way back to the opening game against 6A Eastridge, where a team got 28 points on this South Sumter defense.
This ball goes down on the ground, and falling on it is number 99 for the Chaminade Lions. That's Daniel Abramovitz. So,
fumble.
Both Floyd and Stinson have had 3 touchdowns on the ground tonight. Big numbers for them, and defensively they're putting the ball right back in the hands of this dangerous offense. And Carlos Everett, who's been so key, basically putting the team on his back along with quarterback Jared Fleming the last two games against Madison County and Bowles, puts this one on the ground.
That is only their 4th fumble on their team this entire season. They have lost, that is now their 4th lost fumble the entire season. They've been very good at taking care of the football. Carlos Everett trying to make something happen right there.
So the young puck, TJ Mitchell, going to get one more touch on it. He's brought down by the Raiders. And here come some fresh bodies in there to take the place. They should give those offensive linemen a standing ovation as they switch them out over on the Chaminade Lion sideline. Switching the whole crew. And the big hug. There's a hug by defensive coordinator Marcelo Rodriguez, who's been so big for this team. Coral Gables High School graduate, an FIU grad. Talk about the emotions there. You saw the tears in the eyes. Try to put the nail in this one.
Strong program at Chaminade, obviously. What a great place and a great way to kick off our coverage on Sun Sports of the FHSAA Finals this week from FIU. Next week, Dolphin Stadium, and of course Miami played host to some of the most important football games ever. They'll get the Super Bowl back in Miami for the 9th time in 07. I was here last year covering the FedEx Orange Bowl, in which USC walloped Oklahoma. And we're going to crown a bunch of state champions right here on Sun Sports.
Maybe some guys wearing those same looking uniforms in the Orange Bowl this year.
Next Friday night, Class 5A live. Batesy, I know you like doing a little bit of live high school football, and of course this is our first time since '84. Or our first time ever as you take a look at the bracket, Batesy.
We may have a big rematch of last year's state championship game. Lakeland Dreadnoughts, the #1 team, not just in the Sunshine State, which would say a lot, but the #1 team in the nation. They've got Niceville, pretty strong team from the Panhandle, and St. Thomas Aquinas trying to take down Manatee. Good to see that Manatee program back where they belong, up at the top in Florida football.
A lot of guys very happy on that Hollywood Chaminade sideline, and obviously there's emotions on both sides. South Sumter so many times, big regular seasons, come up short in the postseason, extinguished a lot of demons this year, knocking out Bowles and Madison County, 2 perennial powers. I mean, what a tough road just to get here. And obviously Coach Sherman said all week, and what was a short week, we want to go there and finish it off. Couldn't do it, ran up against a better team. Their motto is heart and hustle at South Sumter, and I think they showed a lot of heart and hustle tonight, but a great coaching job by Mark Wandolo and his Hollywood Chaminade staff.
So with 4th and 11, they'll hand this one off. TJ Mitchell. TJ Mitchell, the first down, the sophomore, almost getting into the end zone, but gets past that first down marker, and they're going to keep this football now with 3:30 left to go in the game.
And you'll be seeing this play in the future. It's the lead play. He bounces it outside to Daylight, works his way to that end zone. TJ Mitchell, that's why he's averaging 9 yards a carry, because he's coming in and fresh legs against the tired defense there. You see him tonight averaging 6 yards, on the season averaging 9+. Future star at running back for Hollywood Chaminade right there.
431 yards rushing for the Lions. Give it to the sophomore. Let him score one. You've had 3 for Stinson, 3 for Floyd. This one goes to Reyes, number 22, Jonathan Reyes, who's a junior. Okay, we'll take Reyes. We'll take a fresh face getting into that end zone. 6 TDs by the other 2 big dogs, Willie Floyd and Xavier Stinson, tonight on the ground.
Well, looking over that sideline right now. Tough way to go. South Sumter trying to find something inside to hold off, but it's tough when it gets landsliding on you. A strong running team will wear out a good, hard, tough, physical defensive team over the course of time, and that's what's happening right now, just wearing them out.
Trying to eat away that clock, but maybe a little bit too much clock.
By the offense, 5 yards, remains second down.
Delay a game, go back 5 yards. Inman Sherman, 21 years there at Bushnell South Sumter. He and his crew need to hold their hats high tonight. Very good season.
Classic Gatorade math is coming.
Yeah, on the other side, Mark Wandola needs to duck his head. He needs to hang that head low. Or call for he needs a Jamie Speronis to bring him an umbrella like Spurrier used to have. Give me that umbrella, shoot. Here goes Reyes one more time, spinning, trying to get up near that goal line. The new face is trying to get it into the end zone, get a touchdown in the state championship game here in 2A. Zach Robinson, junior linebacker, bringing him down.
You just mentioned Marcelo Rodriguez, the defensive coordinator. Let's look at that whole staff. Juan Montano coaches linebackers. Jose Uribe, outside linebackers. John Bias, the defensive line coach. Rod Crawford, wide receivers. Donahue Kinsey, the tight ends. How about the O-line coach, Bob Leibowitz? Give it up to Bob Leibowitz from Hollywood Chaminade. Outstanding offensive line coach. Great staff down there for Coach Guandola.
So 3rd and 2. And Junior getting it in and popping. Perfect timing. Senior gets the bat while Junior's bathing in the blue of the end zone here at FIU Stadium.
A lot of hard work paying off, and I'm not sure he even saw this touchdown. Here you see Junior getting out on the outside. The man who's been handing it to all those weapons tonight is to reap the benefits one final time and take it to the house for a touchdown.
There, hugs all around on the Lions sidelines, and while this may be Guandolo's last game as a quarterback for his dad in the Lions, he's going to have a shot to play at the next level, a 4.5 GPA. Dartmouth, Holy Cross, Davidson, all looking at him. So mom and dad will get to do some traveling and go see him a little bit.
Good academic institutions, all those schools, and you know, a kid like that who's son of a coach, certainly a terrific opportunity for him to play somewhere in college. And once again, a final look. He's just going to follow his 2 backs up in the end zone. And then while he was doing that, Dad was getting this. Oh, man, that's a full bucket. That is a full bucket. Usually you got to get out of the way, and you know, Coach Meyer got out of the way, only got like a half bucket last week, but Coach Guandolo got a full bucket. And the lipstick to go with it.
Yeah, you see that?
Yeah. Come on, Coach.
Oh, not looking so tough now, are you, Coach? Huh?
Yeah, if you're one of your senior players to walk over there and go, Coach, you're not so tough. Look at your cheek. Oh, and a tough night for Fleming. Although I thought he brought it back a little bit in the second half, Batesy. I thought he was a little bit better, but you got to give Chaminade defense credit. Boy, they were quick to the ball. Great year for South Sumter, no question about it.
Well, it wasn't too long ago that they were doing this same thing in another stadium, the Swamp, against Madison County in 2003. Special teams, defense, getting the shutout, and staying dry. Uh-oh, here he comes for Coach Guandola back in 2003, but not so much tonight. Soaking wet, you know, for a Florida boy, even if you lived in Pennsylvania most of your life before moving down, it's a chilly night in South Florida. If you're from South Florida,
Yeah,
well,
unless
not
you're those guys.
guys.
They don't know it. They want to get out. They're on TV. Look.
What is that?
Is Terry Norvell in that crowd somewhere? But it's it's fun doing the state championship games and seeing the school pride in the two cities. We had a great crowd for this opening.
And with this 35-point difference, you see the running clock here is this one's just going to run out as Palacio puts it down on the tee and takes his time. 35 points in high school football. If the score differential meets or exceeds 35 points at the beginning of or any point during the fourth quarter, we'll go to the running clock, and that's what you got there to end this 2A state championship game. And what a way to start off the 2005 FHSAA football finals here at FIU Stadium. One last go at it for Carlos Everett, and that's pretty much the way things went for the South Sumter Raiders tonight. But get those hats up, young men, because an outstanding season, and what a moment for the Guandolo family.
Wow. Dominating performance. We talked at the top of the broadcast which style of play would win out, and the aggressive offensive line, strong running game, won out for Hollywood Chaminade. Dominating performance on the ground tonight.
We told you about the big story of the big hug after the last practice between the Guandolo boys, and how about the hug that'll be exchanged between those two after the final game that they play together, and them and their teammates. The entire Chaminade Lion squad, led by that big strong offensive line, dominating tonight on the campus of Florida International University by a score of 50-15 in this 2A state championship game. There's the hug. We'll talk to those guys with Kim Anthony when we come back to wrap things up here in Miami. Stay right there. The FHSAA Football Championships on Sun Sports have been brought to you by the United States Marine Corps. Do you have what it takes to be one of the few, the proud? Call 1-800-MARINES or log on at marines.com. Well, a lot of pride comes along with winning a state championship in the state of Florida, and very few have done it, let alone done it twice, but that's just what the Guandolo boys have done, beating South Sumter tonight 50-15, and now we've got junior and senior with Kim Anthony.
Guys, I am here with the Guandolo family, and I want to know, what did your team do to do such a good job today?
Well, you know, since day one in February, we've been working for this, and this is a team that truly believed in one another. They trusted one another, and they would do anything for one another, and they just kept working. And, you know, we just have a great coaching staff that worked so hard to prepare these young men, and this was just a culmination of all that.
Now, this is a special win tonight. What does this mean for the Guandolo family? I'll start with you.
It's just another chapter in our family. I'm just happy that I was able to do this and win it with my dad.
As a family, we've been so blessed, and you know, to have such good people around us. And Chaminade-Madonna has been a great school for us, and you know, they've done a lot for us. We're just so lucky, and we're very happy.
I'm here with the Guandolo family. We even have Grandma who flew in from Tennessee. Hey, back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Kim, and wonderful family. Smile on all their faces, big, bright smiles, and there's Carlos Everett, who will make one coaching staff smile when he signs that letter of intent. A lot of people after him, a lot of great athletes down on the floor tonight. We're going to give, of all the big plays, a play of the game, a fitting play to those Guandolos.
State Farm play of the game. Let's go with Guandolo Jr. Why not? Caps it off, a 50-point night for Hollywood Chaminade. And we'll give him a Gatorade shower to boot.
And the hops, but you can't forget that big offensive line and the backs behind them, Stinson. And, of course, Willie Floyd, who will play at the next level. Quite a night for Hollywood, Florida's Chaminade-Madonna Lions as they take this one 50-15 over the South Sumter Raiders in this 2A state final. We've got them all weekend long here from FIU. 1A, 1B tomorrow, and 2B on Saturday. And then next weekend, we're right back at it. Another live one in 5A and 3A, 4A, and 6A. All kinds of great stuff for you on Sun Sports. This has been a special presentation of Sun Sports. Be sure to watch the ACC Championship pregame special Saturday night at 7 only on Sun Sports. For Kim Anthony and Brady Ackerman, I'm James Bates. From all of us here at Sun Sports, congratulations to Chaminade-Madonna, the Lions, victorious here in the 2A state championship game, taking home the ring second time in 3 years.